3, 2, 1. Whoa! Welcome back to Save Point episode 32, baby. And I am coming to you live from the digital realm. Matrix is real, baby. We've got Brock.
The only boring one today.
Yeah, apparently.
And Ben.
I am in 3D.
I am coming to you live from cyberspace where there is no cyber rules.
The death of
but
Sonic.
only cyber truths. But this is too powerful, so I'll come back to the real world. God, yeah, baby.
Is that close enough to your idea of doing a podcast fully in VR?
No. We've talked about it. It's a lot more likely now.
It is.
We're gonna make
It is a lot more likely.
We're gonna-
So, welcome back to the Save Point podcast. Basically, that was a cool little intro. How you guys enjoying it so far? Basically, this week we're going to talk about a few things. Probably gaming, crazy.
something different.
Something different. What we're going to really talk about is I bought a MetaQuest. Woo! And we want to talk a little bit about VR. Yeah. I spent more money. Woo! So I bought a MetaQuest. We've had a conversation since we started this thing, or since I think the second or third episode. Ben wanted to do a VR chat podcast.
Yeah. As soon as we saw those cringy VR, what's it called? The Phantom
Sense.
Yeah.
It's like Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, but nowhere near as good.
Yes, getting touched in the 3D realm, thinking it's real.
3D Realm. Shout out to Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
People overreacting.
Yes, very much so. But Ben was like, "Oh, let's do a VR podcast." I'm like, "I don't think that's going to happen. It's too much for fuck around."
It is a lot. It was going to be a lot of work.
Was going to be a lot of work. I have got a Vive, HTC Vive. I bought it about 9-10 years ago. Great headset. I can't believe how old it is, how it still keeps up with the modern games, and there's no real limitations.
Mm-hmm.
I played that for years. Played games like Played in Sorcery, Pavlov VR, some of those bigger VR games, but it was always a pain because of base stations and having it have to plug into a powerful PC, and it was just really limiting. It was a process to get it sorted and play. The other week, we saw that JB Hi-Fi started selling MetaQuests.
Yes.
It's the first retailer in Australia to sell Metas. I don't think anywhere else sells them in store.
I think Gen 1 EB might have sold the Gen 1 Quest. I could be very wrong.
How long ago was that, though?
Oh, ages.
Yeah, like, it was the only place where you could just walk into a store and they just had quests there.
Yeah.
So it's always been an online thing. Not hard to get, but it's an extra step that people usually don't want to take if it's something that they're
that big and expensive.
umming and ahhing about.
And the Amazon prices hiked up quite a bit as well because they're probably getting imported.
No, so I think this is the only place that they are officially coming from Meta, because all the MetaQuest 3 prices and MetaQuest 3S, because they also sell that, prices are about 20-30% more expensive online.
Oh, really?
The MetaQuest 3 was, I got it for $6.99 through an epic deal at JB Hi-Fi.
God, yeah.
They were going for $1,000, $1,083, $1,100 online.
A lot.
Yeah, so I ended up picking it up because I really wanted to get back into playing some VR games. They're so fun. It was just such a pain. And the big thing that for me was, I don't need the base stations. I don't need they're all internal as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I didn't need to buy anything. One of you guys talk real quick. I need to scratch my nose.
Yes. He's got an itchy nose. I'm a bit hesitant on the VR, mainly because the last time I played it was it would have been one of the Resident Evil games on the PlayStation VR. Made me unbelievably dizzy, and I played it for 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I did give Tom's VR a crack the other night, and
Like a second, yeah.
Yeah, so much better.
So much better.
It's ridiculous.
The first thing I realized when I put this thing on, if you haven't used one of these, it's got pass-through video. And if you don't know what that means, it means you put it on and the screen is what's in front of you. It's got a camera so you can see what's in front of you. So you can walk around with the headset and see normally.
Like the Apple, what was it? The Apple
Vision Pro.
Vision Pro, yeah.
It's a lower resolution, of course, but it's enough. I can pick up my phone and unlock it and do basic things. Small text, it's not happening.
Which the big point of that is that it's far less likely for people to get nauseous and just fall over.
Is it that, or is it more just for actual
Ease of
moving around?
convenience.
Yeah, I think it's more of a convenience
I mean,
thing. It's probably a touch
Especially
of
with
everything.
no base station, and you can do it wherever now.
I mean, look, if it's for something like using your phone, I'd still be like lifting it to do all of that.
Oh, basic things. But I mean, I'm just saying that's how much your hand-eye coordination is 1-to-1. If that bottle, the can's there, I'm able to pick it up and not have a problem.
Yeah. Unless you're holding the controls.
Yeah.
That's what the wrist straps are for.
The second thing is that there's all sensors on the front of this thing. So you don't obviously need the base stations, but you can move the controllers wherever you want, and they're going to be basically detected. Where even with my Vive, it was like, hey, if you move this way, the sensors won't, or the base stations won't pick it up properly, and it has a hissy fit. This thing is miles better. It's a lot newer, obviously. Another thing is it's battery powered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a battery, a very small battery, but it's got a battery. I got a battery head strap thing for it, which was hectic, and it's doubled the length of it. But the other big thing that I didn't think of, there's so many things I'm finding out about this after I bought it that I didn't buy it for. You don't need controllers for it.
No, it can recognize.
Yeah, you can go around and you're basically Tony Stark. You can go around and move all of the shit with your fingers.
Yeah.
And so recently I just found out, I told you guys earlier today, Valve has released an update with Steam VR where now it's compatible with finger tracking, which usually you'd have to buy like a finger tracking
The
like
motion track
trackers.
gloves and stuff
And
like that.
they're expensive. It's what the no life people in VR chat usually buy. You can use it natively through that now.
Yeah.
So you can play games like Half-Life Alyx where it's all mapped to just fingers and not actually like button presses, I think. I haven't fully done it. So you can play the game just with your fingers and hands, and it's a bit janky. But
Which is expected.
yeah, exactly. But some people are like, this is so fucking good. It feels
so
so
much better,
natural. Basically, VR's fucking hectic.
Be a cool way to learn, like, play piano or something. Being able to have
There's
it right in
heaps of
front of
games.
you. And, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to take these off now. My
Yeah,
eyes hurt.
you're going to be cooked if you do that too long.
Yeah, the bit was fun, but Brock challenged me to wear them for the entire episode because we found our Spy Kids DVD.
I think you would have been having a seizure if you did that the whole time.
Yeah, my eyes hurt already. You win this round, Brock.
I didn't realize.
Got
it
his
was a
first win.
competition. I mean, so you had the Vive previously.
Yeah, HTC Vive.
What games were you playing on that? Like, what was the biggest one you were playing on that?
It was probably a mix between Pavlov VR and Blade and Sorcery. But I went onto Steam, and my most played by a country mile was Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. If you remember that game.
I know the name. I can't picture the actual gameplay though.
It's made by a single developer, gets updates like fucking crazy. He's a gun nut. So every gun is super accurate, but it's super fun. There's billions of, like, it's one of those games where I don't think it's got mods. It might have mod support now. I haven't played it in years. You didn't need mod support. There was so much in it.
Yeah.
So much in it. I had like 120 hours or something on that alone,
Christ.
which was crazy. I was like,
Especially for VR.
I was like, I don't remember playing this that much.
Yeah.
But they had heaps of updates. Like, it was an update every couple of weeks. Like, I don't know if it gets supported anymore, but that game, but mostly Pavlov and Blade and Sorcery. Blade and Sorcery, I've bought the version on there. It's not as good as the PC one, just isn't. But it's something I can just literally turn on, play. Oh, perfect. It's great. Played another game called Contractors VR.
Mm-hmm.
Go onto the mod list. So many of these games have integrated mod lists, so you can go and just download them from a menu in the game, which makes it so much easier. Man, I sent you guys a video last night. I was on Rust 2. Not Rust 2. I was just on Rust. I'm thinking of Dust 2. I could probably be on Dust 2 as well. But I was just on Rust. I was literally at the top just sniping people. Like, all
It
night.
definitely looked like you were having fun.
It was so fucking fun. It's like, it definitely gets sick after a little while.
Yeah.
But it's so fun.
It's one of those things where, like, I definitely want to get one. I won't be getting one for quite a while. But I mean, the games that I want to play are more. I mean, I think I said to you, like, there's one called Township Tales that I really want to try, which is more like it's a big co-op game. Like, you and everyone else, like, you basically run a village together. So someone has to be
That's
the
a
blacksmith.
work simulator.
Kind of, but there's actual like
I don't want to go to work as it is, let alone
it's
come home
a
and
fantasy
work.
RPG, but like every little detail of it is controlled by a person. The ones
Micromanagement.
previously, like all I've played on it, there's like on my mate's one, we played Doom 3, had a VR mod, which made me sick because the movement style was
Yeah, it was just too much.
completely
Yep.
disconnected to the direction your legs were facing. Played. There was another RPG one that was like very retro style. They're like, prior to that, the only VR thing I'd ever tried was the Rick and Morty game.
I do remember seeing videos of that when it came out.
Yeah, there's a lot of VR games out there that are just literally just like a one-off. Like you got to play this one or twice and never want to touch it
They're
again.
tech demos. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Like a lot of VR games really are just tech demos.
Like what was it Human Simulator or Job Simulator or whatever it was? That
Yeah.
was a big one for a while. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's something like you play it once. There's no new content in it really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although I
but
think it got an update recently.
that's the thing is that what lends itself to VR really well, and it's a little bit fuck to say, is violence. Games where you are fighting people
Yeah.
and shooting people have infinite replay on that.
Because you can do whatever you want any single time you
Yep.
play it.
There's so many little things like in Pavlov, and I don't know if you can do it in Contractors, but all these other games where it's basically just COD or Counter-Strike, but you've got so many more opportunities to do cool things. It's
Yeah.
like playing one of those games for the first time. And one of the big examples is such a little thing. You can run up to an enemy who's shooting like from behind and just pull their magazine out of their gun.
Yeah.
That is
Completely, yeah,
infinitely
disarm them.
fun.
Yeah.
Super fun. There's things like that. There's certain games you can run up and pull their weapons out of their hands and shoot them and things
I've
like
seen
that.
so many people playing Phasmophobia in VR and just finding ways to basically break it so that, the ghost is having a hunt, but I'm in a spot where they just cannot touch because all I have to do is just lean backwards slightly.
Well, that's a bit different. This is like,
but it's more things that like you're playing it with other people who are restricted by mouse and keyboard. They cannot do the same things you're doing.
okay, yeah. No, but it's still a little bit different. But yeah, no, I get you.
I want that we should look into is that VR game where it uses AR to scan your house.
There's a few of them. Yeah, Ben and I were having a look. We looked at a list with Gabe. Shout out to Plan B podcast, one of the hosts from that. We were looking at like top VR games, just like a list. There's a couple on there where they're all AR. And it's literally, you go around, you scan your house and you turn it into, there's a few. There was one that was like a horror game.
Yeah.
There was the one where it turns it into an FPS and you fight someone else who's got a headset on.
In your own house.
In your own house.
That's pretty
and
cool.
it adds cover and shit all around. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Just virtual Nerf wars.
I wonder how that would be out in just like a fucking field or something.
Because
you could do it.
could work.
Because you can do it.
I think
Yeah.
just if you're around a lot of trees and stuff, hectic. If you're in a like an open field with nothing for it to
I reckon
like
we go to
sort
the Oval over here and do that. That's going to do well.
of bring the drone and we'll have both wearing headsets walking
Yeah.
around like idiots.
So, but one of the other things that I've seen people really like on there, besides like the modding ability, like you can play Minecraft VR. That's fucking hectic. There's like Halo VR, all these games, because I think the tools to be able to port them into VR is actually super, not
They're
easy, but
getting
it's
better and better,
intuitive.
yeah.
So there's a lot of games that were not designed for VR.
Yeah.
VR was not a thought in game development mind at the time,
Yeah.
and are now in VR because of these tools that they've got.
I'd love to see Red Dead 2 in VR.
Red Dead would be cool in VR. I think that game's probably a bit big for. Oh no, it
Way-
might be. I don't know.
very
We can look
powerful.
into
I know that Batman Arkham Asylum had a VR mod, but it didn't quite work because it's a first-person view for a game that's supposed to be third-person.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of issues.
that. Oh yeah.
Well, Arkham Shadow does look very, very cool.
I'll have to properly. I
Yes.
think I've got it downloaded. It came for free with the Vive.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was going to say that people have been doing is since that it's got that it's a 4K display technically, it's really 2K because each eye is 2K. It looks fine. You're not having a problem
Yeah.
with it. Obviously, if you're looking at an OLED monitor, it's going to be better, but that is fine. It's 120 hertz. What
Take
you
that
can
Switch
do,
2.
yeah, take that Switch 2. This thing is cheaper. But you can plug it into your PC, use remote desktop, and play games and make the screen as big as you want.
Yeah.
And people have been doing that. You can have like a fucking 120-inch screen playing whatever game you want, and you're still looking left and right, and it's not going to be the screen. And I laid down, watched a couple YouTube videos in this on my bed
I was
earlier.
going to say, have you watched any movies or anything through it yet?
I think long exposure stuff in it is probably going to be pretty straining for the eyes. I really want to know what research there is to see if these fuck your eyes up.
Yeah.
Like Mum used to say, your eyes are turd square. I think that's like a credible source.
Mm-hmm. She knows what
But you
she's talking
sat
about.
too
Yeah.
close to the TV.
Yeah, exactly. But no,
It's actually a rectangle, but
rectangle. But
It was square back in my day.
yeah, back in your day.
our day as well. You're not that old.
Yeah, we had tube TVs. We had CRTs.
Yeah, I'm not saying you didn't.
Here you are. So yeah, no, it's a great little thing. I recommend these so hard. I know there hasn't been a ton of growth in the VR market. This thing is it's like everything I look at, it is one of the best value for money products I've ever bought. Not saying it's for everyone and they're going to fully utilize it, but the features that it has are insane.
Yeah, so I'm very much on the fence.
Yeah.
I think I'd get a lot of use out of it. I just don't know how long for. I think I would be forcing myself to use it more to make it worth the money.
I think a traditional one with base stations, yeah, I think because of the ease of use of this, and it literally is just pick up and play,
Yeah.
is infinitely what makes it the best.
Watching YouTube in it and just being able to be like as big as you want
Is
ridiculous.
really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And I knew it's one of those things where if you get people in it who haven't done it before, it blows their mind.
Yeah.
It really does. Like Gabe in it, he had no intention to look at VR or do it or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'll have a go of it when I'm at yours, blah, blah, blah. He wants to buy one now.
Yeah. He was hooked.
He was fucking hooked.
I came out of the other room in the studio and could hear him screaming about how much fun he was having.
And he didn't do anything.
No, he just had it on.
He didn't have the controls properly. He didn't know how to do anything. I got him in this game, and just moving around and looking around was enough to get him like.
That's
fuck
one thing
yeah.
that has to be said for it as well, is using like finger controls. Everything's very intuitive. There's no sort of like, oh, you must push this button to do X, you must do this. It's just like, oh, cool, I can do all this. I make one or two gestures to open up certain menus. That's all you need to know.
I will say there's a couple things that are a little bit annoying, but it's game to game. Like we were playing Blade and Sorcery, and I got a mod for a gun, and it was a revolver, and we just couldn't figure out how to reload it, like how to get the chamber out to be able to
reload, yeah.
and everything like that.
Every
Just couldn't do it.
indicator was like, yeah, click here to open to reload, and then it was just like you grab the butt of the gun. You're like, no, I wanted to, or you grab the barrel.
It was a bit weird, but that was because that was a mod inside of it. I went and played Contractors, hold like B, flick to the right, the whole chamber comes out, you drop all the
shells.
all the bullets. No, they weren't shells. It was a revolver.
Yes, so when they're spent, they're bullet
Casings.
Casings. Shells of shotgun. But yeah, no, you can literally
Close.
put the straight in, clap it back up. There's other games like Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades where it's like literally you can go in, you can spin the barrel, you can only put certain bullets in, so then it's like Russian roulette.
Yep.
Basically, there's heaps of stuff, and it's really fun. Really recommend it. I think that's probably enough of our VR gushing. But there's plenty of things in there that I'd love to get in there.
I reckon certain movies in like the theater mode where you can get all your friends in there who also have headsets and you just cause havoc would be.
Honestly, people really rate board games in them.
Yeah, I've seen
could be
plenty
cool.
of mods for Tabletop Simulator.
Dungeons and Dragons with an interactive
There is
map.
a game that
There's
does
a
that.
lot of them.
That would be very cool. Not that Dungeons and Dragons is cool, but
Don't you dare.
How much time do you think you've spent playing D&D in your life?
I know too much.
Many, many, many hours.
Many moons?
Many moons.
I don't have
Many men.
Many. Wish death upon me. Many, many, many men.
Come on.
You opened yourself up for that one.
Yeah, I don't have a quantity for it. A long
It's
time.
undefinable.
What is the game you guys... I think we've asked this before. What's the game you've played the most of in your life?
Are we not talking multiplayer games? We're talking like...
No, just multiplayer counts.
I don't have...
Sonic
the
Advance 2.
No, I don't have the numbers for all the stuff I used
You
to play
don't have
on
to say the
GameCube,
numbers.
So I don't know whether it's going to be Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube, because I spent a a lot of time in that, or if it's going to be Ark on PC, because that I know is like close to 2,000
I thought
hours.
Sonic would have been up there for sure.
I mean, again, a lot of that was played on the GameCube.
Yeah. I would like to say Dishonored 2, just because I keep replaying that.
Really?
But it's definitely not. It's like 60, 70 hours. It just feels like a lot more.
Yeah, because
of
you've
it.
been doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah. But then again, I've also got like 1,900 hours in Rocket League. And it does not feel like I've been playing that game for like 6 years, but because they're 5-minute matches, it's like, cool, next one. It doesn't feel, whereas Dishonored's like a 9-hour story maybe, but I've done every single possible way to finish that game.
A billion times, so it feels like you played it heaps.
And then there's Minecraft and all the normal ones.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Minecraft could be up there. For me, it's probably Halo Reach, though. That was the come home from school play for like 3 hours every single day for like 3 years game.
yeah.
See, that was Tales of Symphonia for me.
How?
Because I was in
There weren't
high
better
school.
games out.
I was playing with people and being social.
When were you
How'd that
playing
turn out
Tales
for
of
you?
Symphonia, but
Sorry?
when were you playing Tales of Symphonia?
Oh, he said he
Like,
was
what
a
year?
teenager, so probably 1962?
2005?
2005.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a numbers guy
2005.
too.
Yeah. Same year Resident Evil 4 came out.
Yeah, I didn't get that on GameCube. I got it on PC.
You bought that on PC?
Yeah, I got it a couple of years after the fact, though.
Isn't the port like shit?
It's okay.
Okay.
Playable.
Playable.
Yeah, I got it as one of
Debatable.
those, like, the Gold Star Classics special discs, like when they just regurgitated everything. 'cause
Oh,
of-
yeah.
Yeah.
All the platinum PS2 games.
Yeah,
No,
all
I
those
got-
re-releases. I tell
It
you what
was
has
a-
been re-released a lot. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're
Um,
not. Anyway.
It's getting really re-released all the time. Only came out 5 years ago. Last of Us 2.
Yes. Yes, it has.
And Ben's got a story about Last of Us.
I do. Someone at work was lucky enough to win tickets to go to the season 2 premiere. Yeah, and I got invited. So I have seen the first episode of season 2, and it is pretty spot on. Spot on for what the game leads you up to.
Yep.
I'm not going to give any plot points because we've been over that.
Yep.
Very, very true to the characters, which I was shocked at, and I actually like some of the additional characters, which is quite odd because I didn't like any of them in the game.
Wait, did we?
Yep.
We did, didn't we?
Yep.
What's the point of us doing what we were thinking of doing then?
We didn't talk about number 1. We talked about number 2.
Okay. I forgot about that.
His attention span probably doesn't remember what we're talking about either.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
The stuff that happens at the start of Last of Us.
Oh,
Yeah.
why
I
did we?
remember.
I forgot we did that.
That's why I was like, how do you not remember what we talked about when you're like, how much of it do you remember?
No,
How much
we
of it
know
have you
what we
played?
talked about. I knew at least. I don't know what.
I don't know about you, but I've got a lot going on all the time.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So we maybe don't do that.
Yeah, that
Would
might
be very good. The first game's good to play.
Yeah, okay.
But I think fans of the game will enjoy the first episode. I think there was a lot of people at the premiere who were reading synopsis in the line for the red carpet.
Oh, is there a lot of people
Why
there that
would
haven't
you
watched
do
play the
that?
game?
100%.
Wow.
There was, I don't know how many tickets they gave out, but there was like a few radio stations that did it. HBO Max did it. They just gave it out to heaps of people, and there was a lot of media there as well, and Australian TikTokers. All seemed fine for the one interaction I had in the bathroom with one of them.
Who was this?
I've recognized him. I don't know his name.
Oh,
I
okay,
have
I didn't
no
know
idea
this.
who it was. Yeah. I don't
Famous.
know. Not really famous. I'd say, like, as far as Australian TikTokers go, maybe a B grade.
Okay, so then no one knows him then.
He was probably in Sydney at the time, and they gave him a ticket. I'll see if I can figure out who it was.
We'll get back to this. Who's the most famous person you've ever met?
I don't know. I don't meet anyone famous. Maybe
Me?
Kim Gamble,
Who the fuck is that?
children's author, wrote the Tashi series.
Oh.
That is the most Australian thing you could have said. And
I haven't heard of Tashi in years.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Paul
can
Jennings.
remember Paul Jennings.
I did meet Paul Jennings actually.
I don't remember it. I'm pretty sure because my mum worked at a preschool. I'm pretty sure I may have, when I was really young, met Mem Fox as well.
You getting it?
Possum Magic, Dingo Stew,
Wombat Stew.
Wombat Stew. Sorry, yeah.
Jesus, these are archival
Wow,
pics
you
here, bro.
really are sheltered, eh?
I'm just very old and a country boy. That was
Yeah,
all.
you are a bit of a country boy.
With
That's
6
that's
books.
on brand for country boy. Tashi and
I had
Wombat
Tashi.
Shoe. Yeah, but like that's his most famous person. He's met the author of Tashi.
I didn't really have much interest in meeting that many people outside of my little social circle.
Surely you've met someone more than that.
I'm trying to think. I've seen
a
a
con
lot
or something.
No. I've got signatures from people, but
You didn't interact with them directly?
no.
Okay.
There are things that sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
There are things where if I'm going to a con, I want to walk around and experience things. I don't want to line up in a line for 3 hours just to have a 30-second hushed conversation with oh, thank you, I really liked your work on such and da 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 da, and then pushed out of the way. I'm not demeaning people who do like doing that.
That's all right.
Brock is pointing to his signed
not-
copy of Metal Gear.
It's not what I have any interest in doing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's an exception, though.
Mine is probably Kojima. He's just like a game developer, but the reason I say that now is because he's just
a
so
storyteller.
Well, he just knows fucking everyone.
Yeah.
He knows everyone in it. You go on his Instagram, it's like, oh, that super famous person, that super famous person, that super famous
His
person.
Twitter is very interesting to give a read through every couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
There's all these movie reviews and everyone he's taking photos with at random events.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah. No, he's probably up there. Like, I mean, I don't know who else I could say.
I've been to the States a few times. I've seen a lot of famous people.
I haven't interacted with
Not
them.
really.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that jumps out.
I talked to Raka Raka the other year.
Yeah, the thing up north.
Yeah, the actor awards. Yeah, I met them there. I mean, there's a billion people there, so I talked to them for maybe 10 seconds. And I would like to actually talk about this. So last year I went to, like I just said, the Actor Awards in Queensland. It's like the Australian movie awards. It's not super big, but not super small. Big enough that Margot Robbie went and things like that. And there was a red carpet, but you could also get tickets to it. It's sort of like a mini film convention because it's got panels and things like that and a few booths around. Mini film convention / premiere / awards
Ceremony thing.
Yeah. And so on the first day I was there, Raka Raka were there. So these are the YouTubers, Michael and Danny Philippou, who made the movie Talk to Me, and what just came out is Bring It Back.
Yeah. And all those really cool
heaps of YouTube
VFX movies.
Yeah, I mean, super talented guys. They are they already are, but they're in the next couple of years they're going to blow up like fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think we've talked about them before. Maybe not on the podcast, but we
definitely have. Yeah. And they went to a lot of the panels because there was a few panels there that were filmmaking ones. There's ones for Talk to Me, and they were on them. And there was also a YouTuber one. I met one of the Fairbairn guys.
Yeah. That's what I would class as an A-tier Australian TikToker.
Yeah.
This guy, he's been in their videos, but he's definitely down the...
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got his head...
Was he a comedian?
No, I think he's just seen him on TikTok.
He's just a dude.
There was another guy who does a lot of F1 content with one of the guys, but...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Couldn't tell you his name for the life of me.
Yeah. But what I was going to say, so they were walking around, and they're pretty famous now. And... they were definitely just trying to keep to themselves. Oh man, if you're in a social setting and there is a famous person there and they are actively trying to keep to themselves, and these guys are on the brink of being famous. They've got multi-million YouTubers. They're not getting stopped on the street every 10 seconds, but people will recognize them every day type of thing. Enough that they can still probably go about their life without getting swamped. This place was Mecca for film at Australia at that time. And bloody, all of these kids, usually it was guys between the age of 18 and 21 who were in uni, who were massive film nuts, going up and annoying them every 10 seconds and being so awkward. Let them eat their fucking sandwich on the step. I remember it was Danny Philippou went over and he got a sandwich from this little concession thing, went and sat down, and the amount of guys that went up was like, oh, can I get a photo? It's like, hey, that's nice. And they're really nice, and they probably said yes to most of them. Let them eat their fucking sandwich.
Yeah, fuck off.
I was sitting down with Cody, and we saw it the whole time, and we're like, no, we won't go. We'll let him do his thing. He's getting mobbed all day. We're going to see him at a panel later. If we get to see him afterwards, we get to. If not, the world's not over. And people just don't have like when it comes to celebrity, they're just so onto people.
Unhinged.
They really are unhinged.
Ridiculous.
These are people still. Like,
Yep.
let them be. Like that Danny and Michael Philippou, let them eat their bloody sandwich. Don't go up and swamp them every 10 seconds.
Yep.
They're here for work and also being super nice. Don't take advantage of it.
Would you, like, meeting a famous person, would you count, like, it's one-on-one interaction. It can't be just meeting them, like, at a panel and, like, being in the audience. Would you count that
It's
as-
one-on-one. One-on-one.
Good.
See, I always...
Yeah,
I've
because
got-
otherwise I would have said Christopher Sabat.
Oh, Christopher Sabat.
Sabat. Oh, yep.
Sabat.
Sabat. If I have always had this thought, if I met someone really famous that I like admired, I think I would value, like, getting a photo would be cool. I think I would just value the interaction more than the actual having the photo of the moment. Because it'd be like, oh, I had a cool conversation with, I don't know, Christopher Reeves for some reason.
Yeah.
It was the first name that popped into my head.
We talked about walking a lot.
Yeah.
So I tell you who's really big on that is Paul McCartney. He doesn't take photos anymore, but he'll sit down and legitimately have a 10-minute conversation with you. He's massive on that. He's talked about that before. And especially someone, how popular he is, probably one of, if not the most, well, he was not the most, but one of the most popular people probably in history, I would say.
Well, this band definitely is. So.
Yeah.
But I
the
mean, like,
band
it's him and
Yeah.
John. And he's been around
In
for
terms of just a recognizable name, yeah.
people. I feel like younger people, if they saw a picture of Paul McCartney, they would know they would.
Yeah.
Most other
I think I
people
would-
around that era, no. Like, they
I
wouldn't.
think I would recognize. I know what John Lennon looks like, but if I saw two of them, like photos of next to each other, I definitely would recognize Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
More.
But I feel like, especially getting in his age where he's very much had probably more photos taken of him than anyone in the world, besides like a president or something like that. Or maybe even more,
Queen.
who knows? Yeah. No one cares about Lizzie. She's gone.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Rip in peace, bitch. Yeah, like he's probably to the point now. I was like, just let me talk to you. Like, I just want to have something more than just photos of me and using him to make a profit.
Yeah.
People want to get a photo when it's signed or things like that from these people because they're just making it for a profit. The amount of times where, like, it would suck if you got to the point if you were doing like a signing at a convention or something like that, and you're signing all your stuff and people are just going online and selling it for more.
Selling it, yeah.
It's like you see this in the streets in like LA. They come up with like 6 or 7 photos of the actor or actress, and then have them sign all of them at the same time. Like
Yep.
they have them on a big board. It's like, why? I know they're selling them for money, of course.
Yeah.
But get a better job.
Yeah. But
Honestly.
you also have to question, like, who's buying them at those prices.
Idiots.
Well, like, it's one thing when it's like, hey, I have a signed copy of whatever book by this author. I don't know why I said it like that. Sorry. By this author.
Another one to add to the list.
A little bit different then, because that's like,
Your copy
don't-
of the book as well.
yeah, but I mean, like, if you
Well, that's what I'm like with
sold
this. I'm going to put this on the set. Like,
if
properly.
if you sold that book, it's not like you would go into a book signing with 9 copies of the book and be like, can you
Correct.
sign all of them, please?
Oh,
Leave the
people,
name
blank.
people
They're a bit
do that. People really do, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like something like this to me is a lot more sentimental because it's the actual game. I mean, to be fair, don't let this secret out, even though I'm telling everyone this is actually the NTSC version, so I can't even play it on an Australian PlayStation. But it looks a lot more clean with a signature opposed to the one that's an actual graphic.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a copy at the time, so I had to get it quick on eBay. It was from Queensland, though.
No wear and tear on it, I suppose.
Not really, no.
I mean, the crystal cases will get scratched
Oh,
easy enough.
yeah,
But I
but-
mean, the game itself's what, 20 years old?
Oh, longer than that.
Yeah.
98. Getting close to 30. God.
Yeah, so am I. So are you.
Yeah, oh, don't.
It's like when I had my copy of Pro Skater 4 and
Yeah.
they were doing the like skate competition near my place, and they're like, Tony Hawk's going to be one of the judges because he was around doing different skate park stuff in Australia. I was like,
He
excellent.
likes skating around here, I
Yeah.
think. I've heard.
Yeah, well, the new
also
bowls
'cause-
and all over the shop.
From all accounts, he can go completely unnoticed as well. The
Yeah.
amount of times you hear about people just not recognizing him or him.
You look like that skateboarder, Tony Hawk. I get that a lot.
Yeah.
While their TSA agents are looking at his passport and they go, you look like Tony Hawk. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I mean, like, to be fair, there's been points where he's pretty popular still.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he's ridiculous. But I fished mine out of my collection, ran down to the skate park, caught the bus, got there, didn't end up rocking up. I was like, I want him to sign my Pro Skater 4 copy. That would be hectic.
Yep.
Didn't rock up.
Didn't happen.
No. That would have been very cool.
If he comes back to Australia, because he goes on tours, we're going because he tours with a band called
Birdman.
Is it Birdman? I thought
Birdman.
So. And all they do is covers of Tony Hawk Pro Skater songs.
We've discussed this before, and I followed them on Instagram after that.
God, yeah.
Slightly connected to it. Is that the most, like, in terms of signed memorabilia?
Yep.
Is that the one you think is the best one?
That I have.
Yeah.
I only have maybe a couple. I've got another signed thing from Kojima. Is when I went there, I gave him that, and I gave him the PS3 Master Collection of Metal Gear, and he signed the front of that.
Yep.
And then the only other thing I can think of is I got Yoko Taro to sign Near Automata because he was just at a con that I was at. I was like, fuck it, I'll bring that. And I got one of the actors from Evangelion to sign a copy of that. But I mean, that I think is by far the coolest.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
By far.
What about you?
I don't know off the top of my head if I've got anything signed. Not that I can think of.
Okay.
I'm sure I've got something, definitely. It's in a box somewhere. I've got no idea.
The two that come to my mind straight off the top of my head is I've got Tales of Symphonia signed by, I believe, Laura Bailey. I can't remember the name exactly. It's whoever voices Sheena in that game, and I'm pretty sure it is Laura Bailey. And I've also got a Sonic the Hedgehog sheet signed by T-Rex, one of the artists that came in after Archie stopped their publications.
So that's cool. That's cool. I think that's probably cooler than the Laura Bailey one, just because, I mean, it's all about sentimental stuff, but Laura Bailey did the con scene for decades.
Yes.
And there is thousands and thousands of her autographs out there.
And she's in a lot of stuff
She's
as
in
well.
so many things. Where the reason I really like this is that Kojima doesn't really go to cons. This is the first time he went to, when I got this done was in 2017. The last time he went to Australia was in 2009. And he signed something. And before that, I don't think he'd ever come.
Yeah.
And then in America, like, he's rarely gone to cons. He just happened to be at this one because it was when he was announcing stuff for Death Stranding.
Yeah.
So it was really, really lucky. What's up?
So I just want to double check this because it's going to bug me otherwise.
What
if
are you
it was
looking at?
Laura Bailey.
Okay.
Sorry. Keep going.
But yeah, that's why I really liked it. But I mean, like, that's just one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Or I tell you, actually, something that I really, really, I have that I really like was, I have a signed copy of 109876543321 by Midnight Oil. I went to their show and they had the whole band signed it.
That is very...
Which was really cool. They sold a ton of them. There were so many scalpers there. And I was like, I just want a copy. This and Master of Puppets are my favorite albums. Please, and the amount of old guys who went up, I'll get 10 of them. And the people at the counter didn't care. Yeah, there you go. It's like, just give me one. And they run out of stack, and I nearly had a breakdown. And they had like another one full. I was like, oh, hectic. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I do also have a signed memorabilia thing by Metallica. Shout out, Jacob. Thank you very much.
Just
We're
looked up
back.
as-
Brock found out what he was looking at.
It wasn't Laura Bailey. It was Jennifer Hale, voice of Femshep.
Oh, yeah. Jennifer
I don't
Hale's
know-
in heaps of stuff as well, yeah.
Yes, I always remember Laura Bailey just because that is my partner.
The
Laura.
girl.
That's one of her favorite
The girl
voice
voice.
actors. But
In Last of
she's
Us
in
Part
a
2.
lot of stuff as well.
Yeah, she got a lot of hate in Last of Us Part 2.
A lot of things around that game.
A lot of hate, yeah.
Not deserved at all.
No, she's done nothing wrong. She just did her job as a voice actor.
Yeah.
Hey, right now, if you were one of the people that went out and tried to like dox and like abuse the voice actors for Last of Us 2, pull your head in. Honestly, hey, I'm with you. I didn't like the game that much. Like, it was really fun. The story I thought was Neil Druckmann being a fucking idiot. But
Something
honestly,
new.
the voice actors did nothing wrong. They just did their job.
Yeah.
I know that there's like some of the times they went out and did like some sort of snarky comments to defend themselves online. So would
their
you
right.
if you had hundreds of thousands of people trying to rip into you.
Yeah.
Really, like, pull your head in.
Yeah.
Like,
I
honestly.
was going to say something then that would have been cut straight away.
No, say it. We're cutting that.
Told you.
Yeah, we're back. We're just talking about some fun things.
I will say, back on the voice actor thing, obviously Bella Ramsey and I cannot remember her name, Caitlin Denver or something, that's playing Abby in the new show in season 2.
Yeah.
I think is going to do a fantastic job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does Abby look as big and
Nope.
as important? Oh, okay.
Looks normal. Not that the character in the game did normal, just a little bit more buff than I think a lot of the fans were expecting. But I mean, it is also post-apocalyptic survival zombie
What I'm
world.
saying is she's like
toned.
a bigger build? Okay.
No, she's toned. She's
Okay.
not brick shit
Because
house.
I feel like that was sort of a big part of Abby's character, was that she's definitely trained and she's a bigger girl. She looked like she could be competing at a powerlifting comp or something like that. But okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I'll be interested to see do you think it'll be the second episode where we're going to see the backlash online?
I've been talking about this with someone for a while. I think they'll do it earlier than I originally thought before I went into the show, the premiere.
Yep.
I was expecting the big thing to be more towards the end.
Yeah, you
because
were saying that. Yeah.
they said that the game 2 is going to be like 2 or 3 seasons of the show.
That's drawn out as fuck.
But I also think it's leading in because there's no follow-up content for the game.
Yeah, that's
So
the
there's
problem.
nothing. They've got to either
There's
stretch
nothing
this
coming,
out,
yeah.
add other stuff in, or hope to God that they can pull their finger out and get another game out and then do a season 3, or like whatever they're going to do with it.
Yeah, I loved that first season, and it lends itself so much to a show. But that's the problem with a lot of these game adaptations. If there isn't enough source material and they decide to, if it's something where they're doing a direct translation or basically a direct translation, and they've got to add more stuff and they pad out, no, there's 2 games. There's enough for maybe 2 seasons from that second game. Most likely only one would be better paced. Just leave it as is. I know it's a big company and they're greedy.
Yeah.
If you want something that's long running, adapt a game that has got a track record of being good and a lot of content. Do fucking Metal Gear or something. You would have like 18 seasons.
Yeah, but I feel then that's too much.
Yeah.
There's got to be a good balance, and I think.
Well, I mean, you just don't have to adapt everything.
Yeah, exactly. But because how the first pacing went for the first episode versus the same amount of time in the game, I reckon they'll split it into 2 seasons at least. I just don't know. Because I think like with season 1, there was like extra episodes added in. We got backstory and other characters, and I think that whole thing's going to work through with Abby and the other groups in the game and other people in the game.
Was this person you were talking to it about, was this the person you went to the premiere
Correct.
with?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I was talking to them as well, and I was of the opinion that they've done can we say how much time they've changed it?
What do you mean?
I mean, between the games was a 3-year gap, correct? In universe?
I don't remember.
No, she's 14. Ellie's 14 in the first game. She's 19 in the second game, so it's 5-year part.
5 year.
Okay, so in the series, there's a longer time gap, isn't there?
Don't think so.
Okay, because that's what the person you went with, that's what they told me.
If it's even longer, that's worse because Bella Ramsey.
Well, what I was going to say was that my thought was that they're going to do something that like flashes back a lot to that time.
This is what I was discussing with said person as well. I reckon because in part 2, there are a lot of scenes that flash back to between the game 1 and game 2 set, and I think that's going to lend itself well to having.
They're going to do a couple of episodes all set in that
correct.
time.
I think that's the same. But again, I think Bella Ramsey is now 22, 23.
Really?
I think, maybe. I just don't think they're going to look any older, which everyone of the game who reckons that they are not age appropriate for game 2 Ellie, they're still going to have a heart attack over it. But
no matter what, people are going to bitch and moan about the season 2.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I mean, I think Bella Ramsey will do a great job.
Oh,
it's just they just don't look old. That's the only
No.
problem. I've got no problem with them.
And you're never going to be
themselves.
able to keep everyone happy. There's always going to be people that complain, oh, this is not exactly as the way I envisioned it should have been. Like,
there's very
never
rare
gonna
times that
please those
people are very happy. Like that first season, I think has been honestly a fluke of how good it was. And I think I think a lot of the people who made this Last of Us show are going to be in it for a rude awakening because they will know the backlash that happened on that
They will
second
all
game,
get death threats.
but they don't understand how big it was. I don't think they will because that was massive. I've never seen a game shift from being so beloved to people having a sour taste in their mouth more than The Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2. That first game is still so great, so good. The story's so good. That second game, it's just so out of touch with... I know what they were trying to go for, but it's like, fucking hell, no.
I remember the backlash happened, like, game released on a Thursday or Friday. 6 hours later, every social media platform was going ballistic.
Yep, Twitter was off its head.
So I missed all of that. One, because I didn't play either of the games. And two, I don't have Twitter. The only social media I have is Facebook.
Yeah, I know, because you send us all these Facebook fucking reels,
yeah,
shorts.
So stupid. Sends it to me to Instagram anyway.
Yeah.
I think with how Bella Ramsey's acting was in episode 1, I think people will accept the age, like they're looking of not looking at 19, because attitude shifted, still a lot of snarky humor, all worked fantastic.
Bella Ramsey, I can tell they would be very... know that people are against.
They'll be nitpicking everything they do.
And they will 100% put in as good effort as they can. And I don't doubt it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I just think feature-wise just doesn't, which is probably more of an attribute to them. Like, good on you. You still look really young.
I'm going to find out
in
how
your
old they are.
early 20s.
Are there any other points from the second game that you're worried, like how the series, other than the big main one?
Nope, there's another one. The boat.
Oh, yeah.
That was just weird.
That was weird.
We're not going to tell you in case we end up playing them, but it was just weird. But
There's a couple of things that very much, like, we've talked about how
I just
dislike
another one.
Neil Druckmann. There's some things that he put in there, and it's like, man, it didn't need to be in there. It just didn't.
No.
Yeah.
Really didn't.
Bella Ramsey is 21. So,
all right, yeah.
Again, did a fantastic job season 1, and
don't doubt
what
that
I've
they'll
seen,
smash it in the second one. Just still doesn't. Ellie transforms a lot between those games. She very much looks like a young girl, like young teenage girl in the first game. Second game, very much you are a lot taller now. You're a lot more like a lanky build.
You've grown
older
into
girl.
puberty.
Yeah.
So it's a massive change. But just straight attitude shifts and way they speak and all that in the first episode, I think should be fine.
Okay, yeah.
I'm quite annoyed I have to wait another week after, because I think it comes out next week. I have to wait 2 weeks to see what's going to happen next. But it'd be good to watch it on a screen, because I mean the State Theatre was beautiful, but it was...
State Theatre you're at?
Yeah.
I thought it might have been the Opera House or something.
No, State Theatre, they had like down one of the streets sort of closed off.
Yeah.
And they had all the cars pulling up, and they had like concrete barriers and barbed wire and firefly signs sprayed all over the wall.
Yeah, because I saw they redid it up.
Overgrown stuff. They had a cool little photo thing. And we all got little buckets, and...
Yeah, Ben got some Last of Us water.
It cut my finger open. I got metal shard in it. So
Oh.
yeah, that was
quality merchandise.
God,
yeah,
yeah.
that was. I've still got the scar here somewhere, but no, it was good. I really enjoyed it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is a good game that could be adapted to a show or a movie?
I think we've had this question before, but
We're on the topic of it. We might as well go
yeah,
again.
I'm happy to do it again. There's a few there. I mean,
Get some
some of them
clips.
I'm not going to be able to think up straight away, but you start.
I don't think God of War needs to be done. That game is perfect as a game.
Yeah, I think that game will... It is... There's a lot of God of War trim you could cut out and make a show of, but I think it's important.
I think
I
to do the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Because they're old now. They're not really... They're replayable, but they're not.
Yep.
Just hardware limitation. I think that would be good to do as a show, or like even an animated thing like Arcane or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that style.
Yep.
Considering, sorry.
No,
finish.
I had no other thoughts. Go.
Considering how well Last of Us and Walking Dead went, did you think that Days Gone would do well as a TV show?
I don't think there's enough content in that. Nothing to make it much different.
Yeah,
I reckon there definitely is like... there's enough character there that you could.
There's
you'd have
character, but
something.
there's not enough story beats in that game unless they really changed it. That game had a couple of really cool things that I remembered.
Yeah.
Like one that they've really built up into the middle of the game.
Yep.
Like when you go to that camp and first see someone. That's probably the only thing I can think of though.
Yeah.
That's really it.
What are you going to do when the characters get to a wall or a tunnel that they can't go through because they haven't progressed further in the story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
It'll just
Yeah.
just fade to black and just be like, you can come back here next episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a throwback, that one.
Yeah.
I think Metal Gear would work. It would have to be done very well, and I think a mini series would be better than a seasonal show.
No, I think seasonal for sure.
This
Yeah.
is what I was going to say before. That's one, like this was a different thing. I don't think you'd be able to get that done properly to a point
You would
where,
need Kojima to do it.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
Yeah, and I don't think you'd ever be able I think that's one that the fans especially, there'd be way more backlash than you would ever have
If
with
Kojima
something
could
else.
do it, he would do it. Because Kojima, the big thing, Hideo Kojima always wanted to be a director. Always. He didn't want to do games.
Yeah.
And he likes games and does them now because it's an art form where he can do basically whatever he wants and there's no
Sandbox.
limitation. Those games are so film. They already are a film.
Yeah.
So you could easily adapt that into a show. But the thing is,
Storyboard's there.
Yeah.
the big thing with Metal Gear is that there's been about 3 or 4 times where he's tried to give it to a different director. Say, hey, you guys, you do it. He wanted to stop. He was happy with being the last Metal Gear game that he made or directed on, or be like the main person, be MGS2. There was 3 more games that he did. Every single time, 4 more games actually. Every single time he'd give it to someone, they would start doing stuff, and everyone on the team would be like, "This is good, but this isn't Metal Gear. It just doesn't have the same feeling." And he would come back and do it every single time. So MGS3, he came back. That was like pretty much straight away. MGS4 was the big one. He was like, "I don't want to do it. This guy's going to do it." Okay, now we're co-directing. Okay, now I'm directing and doing the whole story. Like, he has people help him with the story. Same with Peace Walker. Same with 5. And he's got his finger so deep in it. That's something where I don't think a new Metal Gear Solid game with a new story will ever be made. Remakes could be done for the next 100 years. But the thing is, those games are so intrinsically tied to him, specifically him, because he's one of the only, if not the only, gaming auteur I think there is.
Yeah.
He has his finger.
Or the only one that's deserving of the name.
Yes, because he has his finger in literally every single section of that game, every single part. And he has, we should do this and this and this and this and this and this. And it's so tied to him and his personality and how he thinks. I don't think it can be something that can properly translated.
Yeah.
Swiveling to more of a fantasy bent, what would you think of like the original Dragon Age? Do you reckon it would do okay?
I
as
never played Dragon Age.
No, neither did I.
I mean, I was thinking of it as an option, and I would love to see it, but I don't think there's enough. There's not enough content there to make it as a series. I think that's one that would have to be a movie, because it's a fairly standard, stereotypical fantasy RPG in terms of the story.
Yeah.
A bit darker than some others. Baldur's Gate 3 you could easily turn into a series.
Baldur's Gate could
There's
be.
more than enough story there. It's just a bit too new. I don't think I'd say that's one that needs to be.
We'll do Baldur's Gate 2 then.
Yeah, no, that one. Yeah. Deus Ex. We were talking about this earlier. I think
You
that
were
has.
talking about it earlier.
Yeah, I think
It has more
the
than enough-
setting is different enough. I think that could be decent.
And the first one, the story is convoluted enough that it would work for an episodic thing where, like, each end of each episode,
problem-
there's a twist to it.
The problem with games like that is that they're so open-ended in a lot of ways that I think it's a bit hard to properly adapt to follow the story. It would be probably more...
They don't need to. It's
No,
it-
but
there's-
let me finish. Let me fucking finish, you
All right.
dumb cunt. So I reckon what they'll do is a bit more like a Fallout, where it's same universe, everything, and it might be old mate. Who's the main character again?
in the original one, JC Denton.
Okay, yeah, and then later on it's a different person or whatever. They could just do
Yeah.
they could just do that universe with something going on, a newer story where it's similar.
They could.
I think that's probably a bit more achievable.
See, you're right that it's open-ended, but there is a sequel to it that just makes each one of those endings canonical. It's just they all happened to a slight twist.
Yeah, no.
That I think would work well because it has a canonical single ending.
But the thing is, how long is that game? Let me have a look.
Oh, it's
Because it's an RPG with like different branching trees and things like that, right?
a little bit.
That's-
It is pretty straightforward. There
Okay.
are some choices you can make
Yeah.
that determined whether like you go to certain areas and certain levels. But I
Yeah.
still think it would work well for, the
Are we still on
canonical
Baldur's
route.
Gate?
No.
Oh, we can be. Why?
No, I was just thinking. I mean, I thought that's what you were referencing with the different game parts and stuff. If they did something like that Black Mirror episode, Bandersnatch or Bandersnatch, whatever it was,
Bandersnatch. That
where
was
they-
cool.
you got to choose. You either played it on a PlayStation, like through Netflix, or you played it on your TV if you had the smart remote. You could choose what you wanted the
Yeah, have
character to
you-
do for the
Oh,
story.
Have you-
okay. So they've shot multiple episodes.
Yeah.
it's
And
just-
It was
all your
really good.
choices link up to different things.
that's pretty good.
And
It
if
was
you,
the only thing I
it's
think I've
great.
ever. It's a movie. It was a Black Mirror movie, and you would like it. It's about video games. Really interesting. I've only played it once, I think.
Yeah,
or
I had it on-
1.5 times.
Yeah,
There's so much in that.
I'll have to have a
that-
look at it when I get home.
it's very cool.
That's something you should sit down with Laura and
Have
be
you,
like,
have you watched any of Black Mirror?
No.
You should 100%
I'll-
go and start at season 1 and go through. All tech and AI and video games and very, very cool show.
I'll definitely have to
and
check
pig
it out.
fucking.
And spoilers, but yeah,
Um,
you won't know what that's about.
no, I haven't seen it. Have I?
Um,
Any others you?
Yeah, I
can
had to
think of?
think. I think Taylor Sheridan could do a Red Dead
Oh, yeah.
show. Start it. I reckon do 2 then 1.
Yeah.
I think he could do that really well.
Honestly, I think 1 then 2. I think that might be because I think 2 is definitely more impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 2 coming after 1 gives a bit more impact to 1 as well. I think it would work out better. So for people who don't know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yes.
It's like 12 or 11 years beforehand. I think it's 12 because I think Red Dead Redemption 1's 1911 and 2 is 1899.
I think there's a time card at in the epilogue somewhere that says the gap
talks
for
about it. Yeah. But basically, yeah, I think the stuff that happens in 1 definitely sets up well for episodic because there's so many constant beats. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to find this guy, we go to
Yes.
Mexico, we do this, we do that, blah, 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 blah. And then finishing the game, really finishing the game. And then, the really, really finished the game.
See, that's what I think about Deus Ex as well. There's enough location changes and everything. Like Red Dead, I think works way better for a series,
Oh, that's why I
particularly
want.
in terms, like as you were saying, it has the story beats there where it's like you have a set thing for like this is going to be the end of that episode. Just
Yes,
when
things
they
like
find
that,
this
yeah.
guy.
And then 2 is way more drawn out, and there's a lot that you could cut out. And
Lenny.
I feel like,
Poor Lenny.
yeah, I feel like there's a few points in that game where there's some like a really cool thing happens here,
Yeah.
but they're not a big goal to get towards. The first third of that game, when you're at that first camp, there's no real goal. It's sort of you're just going along, and then little things happen.
Yeah.
Oh, just make more money to go to Tahiti
Upgrade the
or
camp
whatever.
and
Yeah.
get a
And
ship
then it's like at the last half of the pre-epilogue where there's things happen, and then the epilogue. Like, I feel like there's a lot. Like, you could definitely do it, and I think it would be great. But there's a lot more to cut out of it.
yeah. Which again, 2's a much longer game than 1.
Yes.
So I feel like that would work fine.
Yep.
I think I haven't watched Yellowstone, but I've watched half of it on TikTok. I think he'd do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Who?
Taylor Sheridan, the guy who directs Yellowstone
Oh yeah.
and his company sort of thing, or someone finally do a good live action Assassin's Creed show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Cut the animus crap out of it. Just give us Altair off. Nobody cares. Just start at Ezio. Just
Yeah.
6 episodes. Then do Brotherhood. Then do Revelations. And then you could have a spin-off and do Connor and all the other ones later down the track.
I just don't know if there's enough. The problem with Assassin's Creed
there's
is
definitely enough there.
no. Let me fucking finish. The problem with Assassin's Creed is it's just the same, technically the same enemy throughout the whole thing. There's not enough stakes. It feels like it's like, oh, we've got to get the Apple of Eden or whatever away from the Templars. Oh, we've got to do it again. Oh, we got to do it again.
It's a different piece of...
We got to do it
Different
again.
piece of Eden each time.
We got to do it again. Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like there's not much different going on. There's definitely different locales and like it would be good for an not episodic, but like seasonal. Like it's a different assassin each season type of thing.
I think if they did those 2D side scrollers as actual fleshed out stories, like, or they did like the
Russia and the China one.
Yeah, they would be cool because they're completely different.
Yes.
But I feel like someone was saying, I was reading on Reddit, and they said the best video game to live, well, not even live action, just to some other form of media, was the Castlevania Netflix show.
Yeah, I think it fell off a little bit later on.
I started watching the second show.
The second season.
That I watched the first season, wasn't really good. Second season picked up a lot better from what I've heard. But the original Castlevania one they did for Netflix, I loved all 4 seasons.
Is there sequel shows? Is that what you're talking about? I didn't even know.
It's set as which is the Belmont?
Plays Rainer.
The one in the French Revolution.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right.
Yeah, they're good. They fucking screwed the bag multiple times now, but if they just properly did Halo,
yeah,
they could do a season for each game. Like literally you could do 3 games. Just do 1, 2, and 3 and it'd be sorted.
Yeah, and then you can have ODST as a spin-off again, and Reach can come out a year later as a prequel series.
Yeah.
There's so much you could do with it. It would work really well.
I think they just get caught up in themselves making it live action.
Yeah.
Because
they do.
We've seen Arcane had it. There was the other show that I'm trying to think of that similar sort of style. Edge Runners.
Well,
not really the same. But
Edge Runners is really good.
They need to do individual shows in their own style and make them unbelievably unique.
Years ago, Halo did this thing called Halo Legends. I don't know if you've ever seen this. It's an anthology shorts, all animated, of Halo stories throughout the whole universe and things like that, done by different companies, things like that. Some of them were really good, like really, really good.
Some of them less so, but majority of them
I haven't watched Halo Legends in probably 10 plus years.
Majority of them were absolutely fine. Some of them were amazing.
Some of them, they were anime, and then there was like CG ones, and there was an Arbiter one where it was like water paint, and it was really good. And I feel like they could do like
probably not 2D robot sort of thing.
Yeah, not 2D. I reckon a 3D Halo show would work well.
I reckon, the two. I reckon if they did, because there's a new show I saw on TikTok this morning. Like a lot of animes do, like there's 3D elements and stuff to it. Yeah. Where there's like cars moving or whatever. Yeah. This show actively swapped between 2D and 3D, like midway through fights and stuff like that, which looked really cool.
Yeah, a lot of shows.
No idea what it's called.
Yeah.
Halo needs to do something different.
Yeah. As a sort of flip side of this question, are there any books or movies do you think?
I don't read.
Do you think
comics
really need to have a game, or you're really surprised they didn't have a game? Because for me, it would be, if you remember Del Toro Quest.
Oh yeah,
another
you and the
Bush Australian books,
the archival pools from the deep.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that with how big that was for a time. I'm amazed that didn't get a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the Gizmo game?
Oh God, yeah. That would
Where's the Just Crazy game?
What was that other? There was a few of those books.
Yeah, just whatever.
Rowan of Rin.
Bit old there. Okay, yeah, that one.
The Dragonology books and the Egyptology, the big crystals in the middle.
Oh yeah, they were cool.
Yeah,
they were cool. Shout out to Australian millennials.
Book fairs.
Scholastic book fairs.
Yeah.
That's a worldwide thing, or at least here in America. Scholastic book
I took
fair.
my $8 and went ham with that thing.
Oh, bro, you don't even know what I bought. All those books I never read.
Those big pointy fingers and the comically large pencils that you couldn't sharpen.
Yep.
God.
Yeah, no, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you anything really. Like a lot of the movies that I liked and like this could be a good game, they have had games.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there could be. I tell you what was a letdown, that Terminator anime that came out.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it because you said how bang on average it was.
Yeah, it was. I didn't finish it. It was like there's some cool concepts, and right at the start there's some cool action, and it's like it turned way too anime-y.
I think also public interest is just so quick to change nowadays. You don't have the traction behind a lot of stuff that comes out, gets really popular, really big, really fast, but then dies really quick, and so there's not that follow up to sort of push
Yeah.
more stuff for it.
I wish they didn't. I know why they did it, but I wish they didn't stop making the DC animated universe movies.
They were good.
They were
They were really good.
All of them were good. They went up to did Flashpoint, and then
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
was the Constantine thing, and the reset the universe.
There was a few more that came after that one as
There
well.
Yeah,
was.
no, didn't a few come out?
They
yeah.
weren't anywhere
as good.
close
Well,
to
that
the
was
same quality.
Remember, that's what they like. I mean, not everyone, but like that used to be sort of the common thing. He was like, Marvel movies, the live action movies are really, really good.
Yeah, and then DC was
movies,
animated.
the animated movies are really, really
like
good.
Young Justice was fantastic.
Young Justice was very good.
Yeah. I think I finished it. I think I rewatched it online somewhere. It was good. I really enjoyed that. But Marvel have no animated concepts or anything. They've just got the games and the live action, which the live action's kind of slacking.
Well, I feel like the
They
games
don't
are not even them.
anymore. They
Yeah.
used to, like, there was animated Avengers movie. The Spider-Man's had a bunch of animated stuff.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was-
But like
some
that
good,
same
some
sort
bad.
of DCAU extended cut sort of thing, that
Yes.
I think that could have worked really well. Especially with all like the shorts coming out for the character
The
snippets
what
and
if
stuff.
things.
What if fumbled so hard after that first season?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Nobody cares what Peggy Carter did. What if Steve got killed instead of whatever it is? Give us what if the other half got snapped? Give us interesting goddamn prompts instead
Yeah,
of
and
just
give us them in a good way. Like, there's so many what if stories where they did do them, like when they did Marvel Zombies, where I feel like they could have done it better.
Yeah.
I reckon if Rivals keeps like its momentum, I reckon might do something.
Well, the art style they did for the first game intro, that whole thing, I watched it and I was like, I would watch a whole show of this.
Don't want to cut you off too much. Marvel Rivals is the only good Marvel thing I think to come out in the last 5 years.
Correct.
Really, like, have a think about it. What other Marvel thing has come out in the last 5 years that was objectively just good and not just reliant on fan service or XYZ thing? Like, people always go back to Spider-Man. That movie was okay. It just had the other Spider-Man, and that's why you liked it.
You take the other Spider-Man. I agree.
Take him out, you're not going to care anywhere near as much.
I would say Loki season 2.
Actually, to be fair, I didn't watch it. I watched the first one and did like it, but it wasn't
Season
like
2, 10 out of 10. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, like, but Marvel Rivals is definitely the thing that's, I think, rejuvenated people's love of Marvel a bit.
And they're not doing generic characters either. They're pulling people out
they're
of
pulling
left
people
field,
out. Yeah,
and they're all working really well. They're giving them all good stories. They've all got like voice lines with every other character in the game, so
Yep.
that you know there's history there.
Yep.
And it's fantastic.
What was the general consensus on the She-Hulk and Daredevil?
people fucking
reruns?
hated the She-Hulk show.
I watched it. I mainly watched it because I knew Daredevil was going to be in it. It was okay. Then they got to like the last episode, and then they're twerking with Cardi B or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Or what's the other one? Meg Thee Stallion. Just
Megan Thee Stallion,
unnecessary.
yeah.
It was just so unnecessary. And
Yeah.
the full CG character is the main live action. Cool idea. We've had it in all the other Hulk movies or
Yeah.
Avengers movies.
I was talking to someone the other day about how I didn't mind the Hawkeye show. I really didn't mind it.
I'm thinking of rewatching it.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know there was a
There
Hawkeye
was,
show.
and I think the reason I liked it so much is because it was so detached from all the other bullshit,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I liked it, and that's why I also like that Punisher show that came out on Netflix.
I
Which
really wish that they'd kept going with the Jessica Jones and Luke Cage stuff. I know we've talked about it before.
Yeah. You know that they are doing it again, right?
I did not know.
The Daredevil Born Again has come out every Wednesday for like the last 5 weeks. It's a continuation of the Netflix show because Daredevil's in Spider-Man No Way Home. He's
for, like,
in
2 seconds,
Yeah, it was very minuscule timing. And yeah, they went to reboot it a few years ago during COVID. Everyone in the cast hated it. John Bernthal didn't come back because he goes, it sucked. It's nothing to do with Punisher. I don't want him in the show. So they cut it. Vincent D'Onofrio didn't like the show. Charlie Cox didn't like the show. They scrapped the whole thing when like the whole Marvel thing, and they're like, we're going to redo it. And then they did reshoots for the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And it's on like episode 6 of 8, I think, 6 to 9.
How is it so far?
Good. They've made some poor decisions, but I think you can very clearly tell where the reshoots have been done.
I really hope that if they do another Punisher show, it's as good as that first season, as violent.
Yeah.
Because they didn't hold back. And that's what was so good about that
It
show.
is pretty gruesome. In the last episode, it got very bloody. But John Bernthal like the script for the new show. So like
That's a good sign. I think he's he's a good indicator for the Punisher stuff.
Yeah.
I think he really leans into the character in a good way.
Yeah. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but the scene he's in is probably the best moment of the show so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he have a speech or something?
Yep.
Yeah, because
It's like
our manager was talking to me about that.
Yeah. No, it's
Shout out, Chris.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can definitely tell it's had that Marvel, like the MCU feel to it, because you watch a cutscene, he'll like land on a building, and you can definitely tell it's a digijubble.
Yeah.
And you're like, he'll jump over, and you'll just see he's like got really flexible, or it's too fluid.
Yep.
And then you'll just see, he rolls out a shot, comes back in. It's obviously stunt double now. I'm being nitpicky now, but like you can it definitely takes you out of it.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, what can you do? Marvel's just they've really got to dig themselves out of this hole that I think they're in at the moment.
And I don't think any of the movies coming out in the next 3 years is going to do that.
Yeah, no, it's
Thunderbolts actually.
could be good.
That's
I
next
think
month.
it's just going to be a holding pattern. I think it's all just
Well,
we've hit our stride and we don't know where to go from here.
They're still making money, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's really going to be a sharp just decline.
Yeah.
And I feel like
It's
the
oversaturated.
start of it was not the end of Endgame. It was
everything that came after.
Yeah, it was Black Widow.
I think that movie would have been perfectly fine 5 years earlier.
Yeah. It was Black Widow, how there was all the fuck ups with ScarJo, like not getting paid properly and again putting in streaming and not in theaters or whatever the fuck it was. And that's what I feel like the start was because people were still on the Marvel hype after
How much
Endgame.
of that is to blame on Marvel? How much is to blame on Disney though?
Same company.
It was the same company.
Well, it is now.
It was then.
It was then. It's been the same company for ages.
Yeah, 2018, 2019.
No, it's longer than
earlier
that. Yeah, longer than that.
Yeah.
It would have been when the Netflix shows got cancelled, which would have been about 2017.
Fuck, was it? No, was it? It was earlier. Yeah, when did Disney buy Marvel?
2017.
No, I feel like it was earlier because wasn't Ultron a Disney movie?
2009.
Yeah, it was
4 billion.
It was ages ago.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was. I think the first Avenger was the
We're
last.
thinking of Fox.
Yeah, we're thinking
When
of
they're
Fox. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Well, after they did Endgame, they had all the multiverse stuff. So they had WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, all really good. They all set up.
They weren't bad.
They weren't. No, they were better than what coming off the back of Daredevil and stuff. They kind of dropped. They've just kind of fell off since then. Like She-Hulk introduced something really cool. It's been 3 years. Haven't seen anything on that. Same with Shang-Chi, did the same thing. Set up a really good post-credit scene. Nothing. And now they're going into the next big Marvel event. It's been 5 years of build-up, and they're all holding out for the Fantastic Four. And then Robert Downey Jr. is back as Doom, which makes no sense.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, you're not going to win.
No.
I think he's another one who's been not typecast, but I mean, I don't see him doing anything other than superhero movies going forward.
Who?
Robert Downey Jr.
Wrong. He
He's
was
done.
an Oppenheimer, and he was amazing.
He was also in The Judge. That came out after his whole Iron Man Avengers stuff.
I don't remember that.
Fantastic movie. I cried my eyes out. Great movie.
Yeah. So I fully get you,
Alright,
but no, I get.
I'm
Yeah.
mistaken,
No,
sorry.
no. Because I was talking to someone about this yesterday. I think he's going to try and he'll do this in the movie, but all of his other stuff, he's trying to distance himself. He was really good in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
He was really good, and it was very much you could tell was like, get out, my fucking mouth. In Oppenheimer, he's really good, and you could tell it was very much him being like, let me distance myself from Marvel,
Let me
show
be
that I can be a good actor.
Yeah, let me be a serious actor,
Yep.
not the hey funny snarky boy.
But it was good in
Tropic Thunder, yep.
yes. I was thinking of what am I thinking of? Zodiac. That was great. He's done a few things, but I think with Doom he's going to be very. I don't think he's going to get in the suit and walk around. I think he's just going to do the voice like they did with not like how they did with Bane, but
I don't know. I feel like he's going to be a big part of that movie if they pulled him out to go to Comic-Con to show him off in that movie, and if he isn't a big part and actively present in that, I think people are going to fucking riot.
I think people are going to go see it because he's in it. I think if
Yeah,
he's
well,
not in it,
that was the idea, but
Yeah.
I feel like I think they got to gear up for him to be a decent part in that movie.
just it's going to be too, like we've discussed before, it's going to get too confusing for people who haven't caught up with every single thing of Marvel. Like we were talking about, like if people come in and go, oh, I watched Endgame last weekend. This new Doomsday movie looks good. I'm going to go watch that. Why is Tony Stark back?
Mm-hmm.
I used to say the same thing with Star Wars, but Disney did it, and they fucked themselves with a lot of the Star Wars stuff, but they did it. Like I always said, is like if they bring up these certain things that happened in the outside lore, like the big thing I used to say is I know the Star Wars the Clone Wars or Clone Wars is really good. I know, I'm not debating that. I've tried to watch it. I just can't get into it. I know it's good. But I always used to say this with one of my mates is like, I don't think they should start bringing stuff to do with that lore into the main Star Wars things and TV shows.
Yeah, some stuff
because
is
it's
better
too
unexplained.
Yeah, well, not even that. It's too out there. Most people aren't going to watch the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, I know we will, but most people in their mid-30s or 40s who aren't like gaming and things like that in that sort of space, they're not going to watch the cartoon.
No.
It's too hard to get them to watch that. And then if you got to go into, I don't know, XYZ show and they're referencing Darth Maul, it's like, what do you mean? Darth Maul died years ago in episode 1. Why are they talking about him?
Why is it?
Or why is Ahsoka got? Who's the fuck's this?
Yeah.
Why are they acting like they all know her? Why has she got all this backstory that we don't know about? It's like, it doesn't make sense to the general audience. And I know there's going to be people out there that'll be like, well, I know it. It's super popular. It's like, yeah, you might know it, but most people who watch Star Wars probably don't, because the people who watch the Clone Wars is probably only 20% of people who have ever watched Star Wars.
No, yeah, and especially with Ahsoka being directly tied into Rebels.
Yeah,
like,
Rebels and the Clone Wars.
Yep.
It's like,
if you didn't know any of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka's not mentioned at all up until her own. Well, I think she's in Mando maybe, but other than that,
she's in Mandalorian. Yeah,
but if you don't know anything about before then, who's this weird chick with weird hair?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and she's just going up to Luke like it's nothing and like all these things. I was like, what is this? Yeah. Like, you're not going to know.
Really important backstory that, I see where you're coming from with that. I think some stuff, I think the general populace, I mean, shouldn't, but I'll give them some credit for this. I think they're smart enough to realize, oh, there's stuff that I missed out on. I'll just take it as read that they knew each other. It's going to backfire because then you feel I don't know how much of that I'm missing.
When you've watched the 9 Star Wars movies and you don't understand some stuff in one of the shows, you're going to be like, what the fuck? There was plenty of time to learn about this thing.
Yeah.
No.
Somehow Palpatine has returned.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was in a Fortnite event, but still, their expectation for the fan is too high. Not everyone's got 40 hours to watch every episode of Clone Wars.
Yeah, I know there's these super fans out there and they might think, but like that, it's going to be like that. But at least 20% that will know the context, they probably shovel a lot of money into Star Wars. But the general populace who know Star Wars as just
Luke, Leia, and Chewbacca.
Yeah, the biggest thing. They're the thing that's boosting up those box office numbers. It's not the 20%. They might be helping a fair bit. But what should they be going for? The people who don't know anything and is the 80% of the audience, or the 20% super fans? And 20% is probably generous.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there, but also those movies are so fucking popular. There's a lot more people who watch those movies who don't absorb any other Star Wars content.
Yeah. Well, it's like when they did Rogue One. Great standalone movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you want more information? Here's the show Andor. Go watch that.
Yeah.
Which that season 2 comes out soon. I'm very keen for.
That's a good show though, wasn't it?
That was probably some of the best Star Wars content we've had since Rogue One. It was better than all the sequels.
I really enjoyed the Obi-Wan show. I know a lot of people don't like it. I think it had a couple points in it that were really cool. Really, really cool.
Yeah. The fight scene at the end was like the helmet crack.
Yeah. It was so good.
The way the lights reflected as well, that just looked so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was I would have liked a season 2. I wouldn't mind a mall show. I know that all that stuff's...
the problem that...
But, I mean, I'm just being hopeful now. But the good thing with when people talk about Clone Wars and not adding other stuff, Dave Filoni purposely did not make Anakin and General Grievous meet.
Yeah, I was just about to say the whole time because it's the first time they meet in the
Yeah,
the
he goes,
movie.
"You're shorter than I expected," implying that they've never met before. So then they've got to do seven seasons of the show without having two of the main characters ever interact because they wanted to be
so
true to the source
Grievous is
material.
the main character, and he never
Yes.
sees Anakin. I mean, he sees Obi-Wan a lot,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Yeah.
But he just every time, oh yeah, I'm gonna go fight the leader of the Separatists. Oh, Anakin's just fucked off to do whatever else he wants to do.
Yeah.
Just actively avoided them ever meeting, so they didn't have to call back what George Lucas said.
Did you watch all the Clone
Yep.
Wars? How?
There's
how
a lot of filler.
there? Okay, I knew that, but how early on do they really promote Anakin's turn to the dark side? Is it just in the last season where he's like getting a bit?
No.
Because I know there was.
He's rebellious all through it. Like,
Oh, you've watched it as well, have you?
I've seen like bits and pieces. I haven't watched it from start
Oh,
to
so
end,
you haven't.
but
So
I've
Ben-
caught
yeah,
like
yeah.
episodes throughout.
Yeah, because I
Um,
remember watching a bit of the first two seasons, and there was little hints.
Yeah,
But
there's
that was
a lot of hints the way through. There's a whole arc they have with like I can't remember the planet's called. It's like pretty much the father, son, and daughter of the Force sort of thing. And then you go through. There's a whole. I think it's something Mortis. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Which is also now in Ahsoka, which is going to confuse the flying fuck out of people with season 2.
Yep.
There's very big hints for that because he's going between do you have the light or the dark, and then you see like a big shadow of Vader's head in the smoke. But pretty much from like probably season 4 onwards, there's a bit more.
Okay, so there
towards
is gradual because in that movie, there's things in episode 2, but it's like definitely it's like episode 3. He just
yeah.
Seemingly out of nowhere.
they just
There's a cut online of people who have cut the first 3 episodes of season 7 of Clone Wars was just so stupid and it was just there for filler. They've cut like episode 4 through to 6 or whatever they had in there into Revenge of the Sith because
Yeah.
it fits up perfectly right to the end.
Yep.
And that makes it flow a lot better and you can actually see the transition more. But a lot of it, yeah, like you're saying, it's just a snap and he's like, oh, I'm evil now. I'm going to go kill younglings.
I will say I do think Anakin versus Obi-Wan at the end of episode 3 is one of the best movie fights of all time.
Yep.
I really, and you know what, and Obi-Wan versus Maul
Yeah.
as well. Duel of the Fates, that playing with all of that, it's really good. You can talk shit all you want about the prequels and a lot of the stuff it deserves. There's a lot of things that George Lucas was ahead of the time at, I reckon.
Being very racist. That first Japanese Trade Federation.
Oh God, don't.
That was great. That movie's great. Not for those reasons.
Yeah. But
Jesus.
those fights you can't deny how good they are.
No, they were amazing.
Because I think, what was it? Episode 3 was... The first 2 was shot on film, and then episode 3 was the first
I think it might have
digital.
been. Was it? It might have been 2.
One of it, yeah. One of
I
them.
think it was 2 because they were shot in Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all shot at Fox Studios in Sydney on blue screen.
So it was The Matrix, but it was shot just all around Sydney.
Yeah,
Which is
you can
cool.
see a lot of buildings from Sydney in the
Yeah.
back of the shots of the Matrix,
Um,
and Australian actors as well.
Mr. Weaving. What else was I going to say? I can't remember.
You know what I'm going to say, Brock? I think there's something you've got to say.
Yeah, we'll save it there.
All right, guys. Thanks for a good one. See ya. Bye.
Bye.